Hello, welcome back to the craft room. I hope you went all right with the first part of the Talas bag in our make along last week. You should have ended up with something very similar to this, maybe not the same colour, but around the same size and shape. Yes, I know I haven't put my ends in yet, but I've had things to do. You'll see in a minute. So anyway, this part of the bag is where we do the part that's more interesting or adding the colours and pattern. So first of all, I will show you this. This is the one done with the colours that are in the title card. I've done one repeat of the colours. Now, as you can see, it is a variation of a granny stitch, but there's a trick. And so what I will do, so you can see better, I'll swap to the other camera and we'll show you what to do next. All right, so this is our piece here. Now, first thing I want to show you is what it looks like with two colours. Now, I better take those out of there so it will lay flat for you. This bag here I made up in the meantime, and it is made with 8-ply yarn. Bring it up a bit, if you can see it. Now, you should be able to see, if I can hold it right, just there. We are carrying the colours as we go. It is still granny stitch, but what we're doing is a version of tapestry crochet. It is different to mosaic and interlocking. And if I show you the inside of the bag, turn it out, we don't have hundreds of ends to weave in. The only ends we have is one right down at the bottom. Let's get the focus back. This one here, and the black from the base. This black is the same black. I know the camera's really close and it's really hard to see the full extent of the bag. What I might do is stop making it move and making you feel sick. And I'll just quickly put this one under here so you can have a better look at this one. So this one here, this one will have more ends to weave in, as you can see. I've just left them long because when you go to the next row, you are carrying on with the secondary yarn and it locks it in, so you don't have to tie knots and they're not going to come undone, and you can deal with them all later. So what I might do is I'll quickly flick to the front camera so I can hold up the bigger bag. Here I am again. Hey. So hold up this bag so you can see the size. Move across. There we go. So I have reasonable sized hands, so it's giving you an idea. I'm not going to put any more height on this because you've still got to have the top edge and the handles. So this one is how many? We'll go back to the other camera. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, 10, because that's a half, and it's a half at the bottom and a half at the top. So there's 10 repeats for that. That's in the two colours. And like I said before, this is just one repeat of each colourway. So if we get our trusty chook measurer, this has made this bag 10 centimetres deep, as opposed to the 8-ply one, which is, I'm going to stop bouncing. Oh, it's about 16. So there's not a lot of difference in it. Now, the thing is that I might do, this dark one is going to be more of a handbag size, whereas this one, because it's so much wider, if I go to the side, see how much wider the 4-ply one is? I might make the 4-ply one more of a carry bag. So this one will have 2 handles. This will only have 1. This will have a longer handle that comes from the ends, whereas I'll do 2 handles on the 4-ply one. That way you see both styles of handles, but because this is a wider bag, you'll need the extra support for carrying, whereas the smaller bag, you will only need a strap coming off the corners. Right, so what I'm going to do with you today, oh, my words are terrible today. I will, first of all, I'll show you how to do the 2-colour one, because what that will do is it will give you the technique without the hassle of changing lots of colours. The technique is the same. The only thing that's changing is the colours. You're adding more colours in. So put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. And we are using, for this one, because this was a, what do you call it, last minute idea to do 2 colours, I had to get more cotton that matched in with my base. So I'm using Tugaruk, because hopefully that's how we say it, in the 4-ply. So it's the same size as the hobby cotton that we used. The cream is slightly different, but it's not too bad. And this one here, I admit, I pulled this much of it out because I wanted to start with the darkest colour so it shows up against the cream. But you can do whatever you like. So I'll just put them to the side. I've already pulled the guts out. And I'm going to start with, the cream. That way we've got a nice transition. Should we start with the cream? Yes, I think so. So I'm going to start with a standing DC. Hopefully you know what a standing DC is. I will show you. Right, hang on. Gotta get the hair out the way. It's cold here today. That's why I'm wearing my fairy green jacket. So we've made a slip knot and we've put it on our hook. Now I'm going to start in the stitch where we finished. And I'm just going to go under that. Maybe not too tight. Come on. There we go. So we're going under that. I missed a step, sorry. Put a loop on your hook. Now go in there. So hopefully you can see that. Yep. So we pull a loop up. So we've now got 4 loops on the hook and we just do a normal DC to finished. Now, first thing you say, why do we do it that way? We do it that way so the knot is up the top here. Yes, it's a little bit loop, but we loose that we hide that when we get around. So now we just do normal granny stitch clusters, which is 3. Because our first one wasn't chains, they're all going to look the same as well, which is even better. And we do 3 clusters. Now with this technique, we are not putting a chain between the clusters. So we skipped 2 stitches. Now that one has actually gone in there. So it's 1, 2, into the 3rd and do another cluster. And these are just normal DCs, nothing fancy. I have to keep looking up and make sure it's not going out of focus. And like that. So you do this all the way around, and I will come back when I'm at this stage. So I'll go all the way around and I'll come back when I'm here. I can pause it. All right, so we've gone and done that, and we're about to do our last one. 1, 2, and the 3rd one. This will be the 42nd, or there will be 42 clusters, granny stitch clusters all the way around. This is why we had to have 126. Now I'm just going to join that. We're just joining with a slip stitch. So that is our row 1, just like that. There is 2 stitches in there. I know it doesn't look like it, but there is. So we've got 42 clusters all the way around, skipping 2 between each one, no chain between the 2 clusters. And now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. Now I normally only chain 2, but for this pattern I chain 3 because it's going to slant over and make the next cluster on the next row. So we chain 3 and then we do 2 more DCs in the space. Now this is where we start introducing the other color. Just pull my tails out the way. So I'm not going to call this row 1. I'm going to call this row A because there's only a 2-row repeat in this pattern, and row A is always done in a single color. Row B is always done in 2 colors. So we'll just make a slip knot with our second color and hold the tail out the way, and all we do is on the last pull through of the DC we pull through with the new color. Now hold that tail out the way, bring back the cream, and we just tighten that up. Now this is, I'm going to have to do this really slow so you can see this. We are carrying the yarn in a different way. We are only carrying the yarn under the top loop. Hope you can see that. So that's the back. This is our cream yarn. So we're going under that yarn, pick up that one. Now it's going to be incredibly awkward to hold that second yarn, so I just leave it sitting up like that. It's not attached to anything. And then I go and make the DC. I did that wrong. Shouldn't be at the front, it should be at the back. That's better. But I'm not holding that other thread. I'm only holding my coloured thread. Let's start that again. Made a mistake. We are attached. Under there. That's our first loop. Pick up that. We do just leave that floating, because what it does is the first pull under, whatever, it locks that thread up behind the hook. So I'll do that again slowly. Under there. Pick up your loop. See how it's pulling away? It's not even near the hook. And finish off the stitch. Put that down. Go like that. So one more. Loop. Pick up. Loop. Now, we have just finished that second cluster. So we drop the coloured one. Pick up the cream. Now, this is part of Tapestry crochet. Can you see that little string there? That is the carry through. I'll just show you the back. You can't actually see the cream being carried through, and all you need to do is you just need to pull this string, this one, so that you can't see any of that. So you just pull it. See, now it's gone, can't see it, and then pull that through. And that has now changed our colour back to the cream. And we repeat. I'm going to go real slow. Under there, over there. Let go of the other yarn and finish the DC. It does pull itself out the way, and then we go through like that. I hope I'm explaining this correctly so you can see. Under that yarn. Don't even hold it. Finish your DC as normal, and on the last pull through, just bring it down. Under. Finish the DC as normal. You remember which colour you're working in? Now, this is our last one for this cluster. So we drop the cream. Now, you also see how the yarn is twisted there? Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Just pull it out the way so you can finish the stitch. We are pulling, this is our one we need to tighten. So you just pull it until you can't see it. And then go like that. Don't look at the ones in here. You're looking at the one in this gap here. And now we carry on with the next one. Under, pick up a stitch. Don't hold the other yarn. If it gets annoying, you can flick it out the way, but you don't need to put it under tension. And then finish the stitch. Under. And then like that. And pull through and finish the stitch. You do not need to have the second yarn under any strain. Not while you're using the alternate yarn. Under, pick up the stitch, do that, because this is the last one of our cluster. We're changing colours, and then we're pulling this through so we can't see it. Don't worry about it here, you're only looking at it in the gap. So I can't see that, so now I pull through. What that does is it keeps these nice, but it keeps the back tension. I'll show you the back. You can't see the carry colour at all. And that's what we do for this row, alternating one in cream, one in colour, one in cream, one in colour, or one in your background colour, one in your alternate colour. This is row B. Okay, I will be back when I'm on here and I'm in the purple. All right, you should be in your second colour on the last cluster before you join up again. I'll be back when I get to there. All right, so we're back and we've gone all the way around with the two colours alternating between the cream and the background colour. You can just see a little bit of purple poking through the white, not much, and the back is the same as the front. No carrying threads, no really tightness. It is cupping a little bit, and we have finished, well, not finished, but we've done the last part of the purple, and now this time we're not switching colours, we're just pulling through, and then we join. Just making sure you can see this. Join with a slip stitch onto the, when it will let me get through, top of the chain 3. Just a normal slip stitch, nothing fancy. But we're only working with the coloured thread, not the background thread. And just pull that through. All right, so we haven't changed colour on this one. Now we want to chain through, but we want to bring our other thread up with us. So I'm just holding that. I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. So we've brought it up, hidden behind the chain. If you look, it's there. And now we don't do anything with this thread for this row. So that was your B row where you're alternating. A row is with one colour. So now that we've done a B, we go back to A and just do normal granny stitch clusters, not carrying the thread along. Just normal granny stitch. Keep the other yarn out of the way and go all the way around until we're at this one. And if you've noticed, we started here, then we moved to here, then we moved to here. That way, we're going to keep the pattern correct. And I will see you when I'm back to here. Actually, I'm going to come back a little bit early because I wanted to show you something. When you're going along on a row, you might see the carry thread a little bit. Go underneath it, and what'll happen is when you put the clusters in, it will pull it up tight and correct any looseness in that tension. I'll just finish this and I'll show you. And you see, you can't see the carry yarn at all, and it's scrunching up the clusters beside it, so they're not visible. And we've got our first part of the pattern. So just don't worry too much if you can see the carry yarn, because your next row of clusters will cover it. Just slowly work your way along. Just normal granny stitches with no chain between them. And I'll be back in a bit. All right, back again. So we've just done the whole row all the way around with the purple. We just need to join it to the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch, and we will also loop the other colour just over the top, just so we keep it up to date with us. And we're done there. Now we still have to bring up the other colour with us now, because we're now going to do another row B. We need to chain 3. So we've already put the yarn across there, so we'll go 1 over the top, 2, 3. So that's got the second colour up with us. You can't see it at the front. And now we're going to do another row B, which is working with the two colours at the same time. So we're just going like that over, pull it down through. If you keep, let let me just rearrange this so it's a bit easier to see. If you keep this thread at the front and you hold your yarn like that, you can just pinch it with those two fingers to go under it, and then you don't have to hold it. Keeping it at the front keeps it out the way. And you just finish the DC. Now that was our third one, because we do count our chains in this pattern. So we drop that one and pick up the other one. Put this yarn at the front so you know where it is, and then pull through to finish that stitch. So next one, underneath, let it go, finish the stitch. At the pull through, go over the top of it. Make sure you keep putting that in front so it's easier to see. So underneath, do the stitch. I'm not even holding it. And then the last one, pull through. Underneath, do the stitch. Now, one thing I wanted to say is you might find that your yarns start getting tangled up. Don't worry about it, because what you can do, can you see the twist? Is it going to let me show you the twist? They twist over each other because they roll over your fingers as you're crocheting. What you can do is just bring the twist up to where you're working. See, there's the twist there. And just when you go like that, it puts it right into the stitch. It helps you with your tension, and we just pull that so we can't see the other thread and finish it off. Now they're not twisted anymore, and it's made your stitches a bit nicer too. And so we will carry on. And you do this all the way around. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish on this one. I'll just keep doing this while I talk. With what the same coloured rows as we started, so you can see the whole pattern that it makes. And then I'll show you on the other bag how to do the rainbow crossover, because it's the same pattern, but I'll just show you the sequence for when you got to change colours. So I'll just do one more, and we changed colour just there. I hope you noticed. One more, and this one, and this one changes colour. Pull that through, and we've changed colour. So that's tipping over, but when you do the next row, that'll fix up. And you can see our little 4 of the same colour. You will get a white one above it, or cream. So I will be back when this row gets to this one. And as you can see, our joining one is moving sideways. That is fine. It fits within the pattern. If you're really worried about it, you can go that way and keep them in line. It really doesn't matter. They're not really that visible. So I will be back when I have done up to the join. All right, we're back. And we are on the very last cluster before we join. So we'll just do this last 2 stitches. Under, under, under. Now, we are not changing colour. We're finishing this last cluster off with the cream when it's in focus. There we go. So we finished it off with the cream. Now we're going to join with a slip stitch into the top chain of the chain 3 that started this. Make sure you loop the purple over, the loose end of the purple, and pull it through. So that's that row finished. It's gone all the way around. So I will just do one more row in here, which will be a repeat of the very first row, and then you'll be able to see the whole pattern. We haven't lost or gained any other stitches, so we'll just chain up, taking the purple with us, chain, and one more. And now we pull the purple out the way, or your contrast color out the way, and then this whole row is just done with the background color. This is another A pattern line. This was the A, the other one was the B. And so 4, yeah, it's 4. Yes, it's 4. The 4 rows will make the pattern, but there is actually 2 repeats of the same type of row. Hope that makes sense. So I will just whip around here with the cream and I'll be back when I'm joining it up. Okay, I'm back and I have done this A row, and as you can see I've got little purple diamonds when it comes into focus. I mean, this is a very pale colour. I'm sure it will be more pronounced with a darker colour, but that is how we do this pattern. So I'll just do this very last cluster. And as you notice, when you put the 2 clusters in, it scrunches the row up below and you can't see the carry yarn as much. And I'm not saying it's totally invisible, but it's a lot. So we join this with a slip stitch, 1 and 2, go on, get through. I'm awkward at this because I'm not holding it the way I normally hold it, because I'm holding it so you guys can see. Put the purple over the top and pull it through. And pull tight. So now we are carrying up, carry the purple up, and the next row will be another B row. So we have, there's a B row and there's a B row, and then we have 3 A rows. And that is how we do the 2 colour patterning for this bag. Now with this other bag, I was going to bring it back. So this is the 8-ply version of a 2 colour bag. And I have used Brighton yarn, that one there. And I've also used the black, which is this yarn here. Okay. And this is a cotton polyester, this is a cotton acrylic, but they are both 8-ply, which means they work together well together. Get my English right. And I used a 4mm hook. So that is what you can do with the 8-ply. Now I also wrote out the maths for you. Bring it down here. All right, that's kind of legible. Okay, so yes, 4mm hook, 8-ply, you need 2 coloured yarns. If you start with 35 chains, and the cat's just woken up, you follow the instructions until the 4th row, and we only want to add 4 stitches on the 4th row, so I suggest you just put 1 between the pairs of each corner, and you should end up with 96 stitches on the HDC row, which will equal 32 clusters on your 1st row. And that will work out if you follow the same instructions from the previous part of the bag. So actually, hopefully that was there long enough for you to screen grab it, but it will be written into the pattern that's going to be available on my Ko-fi when I'm all finished. So now we will pull a string in that and put that out the way. I will show you a little bit on this. I'm not going to go from nothing on this one, because this one's a little bit more complicated. All I wanted to show you on this one is how we're changing the colours. So what I've done with this one, this is only 1 repeat of all the colours I had. If you remember, I had 9, was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8. So this is not tall enough for the width of the bag. So I'm going to have to do, I'll probably do another repeat, and that will get us, right up here. It'll give me a nice deep bag. Because it's wider, it needs to be deeper, otherwise things will fall out of it. So what I'll do, I'll show you how I started this one off, because I just happen to have another base. So you get all your colours. So I'm going to use different colours this time. Can't see that one. Go down like that, and then a blue, and then a purple, and then a... So And they're the colours I'm using this time. And I'm not going to be putting any background colour in. This is going to be very similar to the other one. So I want to start with the green. So this one is a mixture between Portercraft 4-ply and We Love This Yarn 4-ply. This one's from Hobby as well, when the camera decides to focus. Right, so this is a We Love This Yarn, and I'll just hold it there. There's your details. And yeah, so I'll get some of this green out, stick my finger down at the butt and pull out the middle. Move all these up out here. So I suggest you either write down the sequence you want to use, or try and keep them together like in a basket, or that in the order you want to use them in. Now, because I just showed you how to do the 2-colour one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first row, the second row, but I'll stop before the end of the second row because you've got to join in the next colour there, and I'll just show you how to join in the next colour, because I don't think you need me to go through all the colours on this video. It'll make it way too long. It is the same pattern, it's just when you're about to do the third row, that's when you introduce the next colour and lose the first colour. So I will be back when I'm up to that stage. Where's my mouse gone? Here it is. All right, I'm back. So I've done the first 2 rows, and I'm just joining this one with a slip stitch. And I am not carrying up the first one. Sorry, put it in the right place. So this one I'm not carrying up. I'm just going to chain the 3. And then this row is another A row, as in all in one colour. Just get this done so I can push it out. And then when I get back to here, I will join this, chain up 3, and then I will join in the next colour, which is this nice light blue. I'll come back when I've done this green row so I can show you that, and then I think we're nearly done. All right, so we are back and we have done the B row. So we now join it up with a slip stitch into the 3rd chain, and we can now get the scissors and cut off the green. Now give yourself a decent tail and move the green out the way, and you do not need to tie that to anything. It won't come out. You can just leave them there to weave in the ends later on. Now we need the next colour, so we'll just find the middle, move your finger in and pinch out a piece and get lucky and the end comes out on its own. We'll just reel off the others so we can attach. Come on, where's the end? Of course it doesn't want to come out easily. Sometimes you can get it really easy and other times you can't. Alright, it's not there, so keep going this way. Yep, there it is, found it. Okay, so we make another slip knot in the end of our new thread that we're adding in. Then we'll just lay that down there so we know where to find it. We will chain 3, because you've got to remember the first stitch or first cluster in every row is the same colour as the last cluster you make in the row below. So we've just done that. So just say that again. The first cluster in the new row is the same colour as the last cluster in the previous row. Just a thing to remember. Now we've gone to the last pull through on the 3rd DC in the cluster. We pick up the new colour and pull it tight and pull that through. Bring the green back because we're going to have to carry the green. Get rid of the tail of the blue so it's out the way. And then we carry on with a B row, which is alternating the colours. Like so. And then we just, oop, nearly did it wrong. We just work our way along, alternating the colours, carrying the unused thread along the top of the cluster DCs, and then changing on the last pull through to the other colour, so that this cluster falls between the two on the previous row. And that's all we do. And this one, drop that down, pick up the pull through colour, pull it tight and switch it over. And that's what you do. So this will alternate green, blue, and then we'll do another A row where it's all blue. So our last one here will be blue, join to that one, and then we'll have an all blue row. And that's how you work your way through all your colours. So the next colour to come in will be the nice purple. That'll go between the blues. Then we'll go to the pink, then the yellow. And that's how we will do it. So that's how you do the rainbow one. And as I said, with the 2-colour one, this is the 8-ply. I'm not going to add any more to that because you're going to have a finishing off top edge, which will be the same colour as your base, and that will be approximately 2 centimetres to 1 inch thickness. So you've got to add that to what you've already made in the bag. So this one I'm not going to add any more to. This one is a little bit shallow still, so I will I don't need a full repeat. So what I might do is I will reverse my colorings. So this will be the middle, and then we'll go orange, red, and that. And I think I'll do that with this one. And then this one over here, I will probably make that, yeah, I'll probably make it the same size as this one because they are the same width and we don't want them too shallow. And I might even put a zip in one of them. But this part here with the colors, you can make that any size you want. If you want it shallow, you can, but I don't recommend you make it too shallow because it'll be hard to keep stuff in it. So as a gauge, you want it at least 3/4 the length of the base. So just bring it down. So this base is the same size. You lay it out and you want it at least 3/4 depth to width, if that makes any sense. So it's a reasonable gauge. Like this one, it is just a little bit shorter than the width, 3/4. Okay, so that's all that I have for you today. Next time I see you will be for part 3, where all of these will be all the bodies of them all finished up to do the top edge and the handles, and then we will see what our bags look like. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Make sure you turn on notifications so that you know when the next one's up and you don't miss it. And if you want to look over on my Ko-fi page and support me, I'd be very happy with that. And I thank you so much. I will see you on the next one.